You always envision your life. Nobody really envisions the worst case scenario, you know what I mean? And if they do, they could even think of like, oh, I'm gonna maybe die, or what happened if I would die, you know? Not that it would be your concern anymore, but you know, you don't think, oh, I'm gonna become paralyzed and be stuck in a chair for the rest of my life. And so that in itself is a surprise, and some days that is still shocking enough. Like, this isn't a really long, bad dream.
Hey, get me again.
I'll get you in a second, okay, buddy?
No, get me again.
Is Grandma getting you again?
Yeah.
Okay, you better go hide. But I think also I was kind of surprised at the inner strength I actually had, I guess, to be able to have good spirits about it all. Because it can be quite a depressing thing at times, and a lot of emotions that you go through. But I guess I was surprised at how strong my love for life and my will to live actually was.
I was just do it. Yeah. Oh. Did she go to this game?
Do it. Come on. Do it. You're there.
I think someone sliced my tires.
You know, at first it was just trying to stay alive and figure out how we were going to do this. You know, not only being new parents and trying to adjust to those, you know, a baby dictating your world, but my medical needs and my limitations kind of dictating it, to figuring out how life would be different, but that it was functionable and that we could manage. And we're kind of at that point, and it's kind of like the point to, okay, where do we go from now? How do we live, you know, accomplish our goals, and with our new parameters, I guess, or limitations. Want to give you a kiss?
No, there's not two.
Daddy!
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Dad.
That's Daddy.
Daddy.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm going to work.
We have to work, but I'm home now. It's full circle.
What? You want to see Logan in the camera? You know, and still trying to just be happy in life, you know, to savor the moments, the enjoyment. We get a lot of, you know, that from Logan, and I've been fortunate, I think, that in a lot of ways I was deprived of some things of motherhood, but in some ways I've gotten more time with him, and I really cherished it.
Are you?
Yeah. And you know, just getting to be around him, and a lot of the time, even if I didn't nurse, you know, get to nurse him or hold him and walk the floors with him, or, you know, we've learned how to have a relationship, and he knows I'm mommy, you know. He knows that if he wants something done, he comes to me, and I make sure it happens, even if I can't do it physically. And then just making sure Dave doesn't, you know, get too stressed out being mommy and daddy physically, you know. So, I don't know. It's kind of the struggle of everybody's life, you know, just trying to raise your kid, pay the bills now instead of trying to stay alive. And
it's good to finally, you know, make it to one of my baby showers. I thought that right after the accident too. After my car, you know, I flipped over and I was sitting there, I was like, this is going to screw up my baby shower. Like a half a second. I didn't realize it was going to screw up my whole life. But we're back on track.
it puts things in perspective. You know what I mean? There's things now that is sometimes that you're like, I can't believe I ever worried about that, you know. But I can't say that it's easy. You have to have determination and really be stubborn and not give up, because it's easy to let yourself fall into that, I can't do that, but like even the fact that when we went to Disneyland this summer, you know, I rode a roller coaster, you know, but you know, given at the beginning of the accident, I wouldn't have ever thought that was possible, you know. So there are ways to do things. You just have to prepare and approach them different, I guess, and appreciate the things you can do, and that even though it might be different a little bit, that it's not worse off. Well, I don't know how to say that. It's not less of an experience, even though it's a little different, I guess.
They're like pillows and stuff that were from my bed the day of the accident, and they've been in storage, so I haven't washed them.
The hardest thing is having been an independent person and a person that was used to doing stuff for herself. It's that depending on other people and not feeling like a burden and a waste of space, and learning what things I can actually contribute.
I don't know, I was just...
That's one thing that's been harder, is reimagining my self-identity and my self-worth with my condition. And not that I feel like I'm not, you know, attributes that I had prided myself on before aren't necessarily something I'm able to express anymore. But so it's learning that ways I can contribute and excel at, and those that I have to accept that I can no longer do.
Figure this out. Rest. You want some water? There.
There you go.
Still, well, yeah, I'm very limited in what I'll ever really be able to do for myself, you know what I mean? It's kind of more molding your life around you versus overcoming. You know, you have to kind of work within your limitations, and you kind of have to learn what functions that you can do and how you can basically, you know, work around something, you know. Well, I can't squeeze that to pick it up directly, but, you know, how could I somehow push a button, or, you know, and it's learning what works and what little tricks or aids we can use to make things easier and set up so that it's slows me down less. And you know, back in the beginning, it took us all day to get me up out of bed, you know, and now, you know, I can get up, depending on the day, in no time. And but it was just all learning and adjusting, and you know, my quadriplegia dictates a lot of things, but at the same time, trying to fit that into a normal life as a mother and a wife and a sister and a daughter. And so it's a juggling act, but everybody's life is kind of a juggling act. It's just sometimes I feel like we have a fourth ball or one less hand to juggle with. It does. It helps because, well, I have the lateral guards, but yeah, it kind of keeps them there. And then when I transfer, it helps because it gives me more
leverage.
To push on.
Purchase.
Yeah, rather than, you know, the air going straight down. And
right.
It definitely has an effect on every relationship, either in a positive or a negative way. And sometimes it has brought me closer to someone, and I've had to learn to accept help and support humbly from a lot more people than I was, used to doing, and I really value that help and support. But then sometimes it also has put a little strain on relationships just because of the logistics of it's a little harder for me to get out and about, and I can't just necessarily drop by someone's house and easily, and even if someone invites me over, I have to think, now, is your entryway, how much of a threshold is there? Can I, get in? Am I gonna poke a hole in your wall? What, baby? You're gonna jump? Be careful. Good job.
Hi.
Yeah, you jumped high, huh?
That like drains and then you can't and I started taking antibiotics and it almost got worse because it was like more stuff was clearing, and so like this morning I woke up and I was like, yeah.
She does that to me on occasion. It scares me.
Yeah. But then the doctors always think I'm paranoid. She's like, I'm like,
Yeah. Listen to me. Hopefully we'll keep it that way. There's something nasty going around now, so.
Yeah, well I have a little germ factory, so
She lives with a germ factory.
I took him to the library, and he was like playing in the play section, and then he crawled on my lap. Oh gosh! And I was like, looked at his hands, and they were so dirty. And I was like, oh my god.
And then also making sure that I don't feel like a burden on some of my relationships, like my spousal relationship. You really have to work hard on not falling in the role of caregiver, carry, needy person, whatever. Where do we go? And still, have that bond and try to, keep myself as an equal in the relationship, even though, Dave does, the majority of the physical, does all of the physical, supporting us and, physically taking care of Logan. But, there's things that I can still do and contribute, and I'm the brains behind the operation. Was that 3 sets or 2?
2. I was 3.
I don't
Yes, you do. You trust me.
When you go through something like this, you learned how really blessed you are. I never knew that so many people respected me or cared about me, or, and Dave likewise, and I've always felt that, like, I've always tried to kind of live, do unto others as others would do unto you, and not saying that I necessarily earned any of the goodwill that I got, but sometimes it makes me feel like, well, I must have done something right, that, all these wonderful people care about me and are willing to even take the time to pray for me versus donate, to make sure that I had a place to live, or just, to even care how my life is going. And, I think you need a diaper change. It smells like pee-pee.
No.
No?
Why?
It's dry. I don't think so.
Coming.
I think I smell pee-pee. Is Grandma coming to get you? I think you should go kiss her. And turn her nice. Turn monster Grandma into loving Grandma. And then you could have her change your diaper.